The metal collar around Hannah Kim's neck was cold. It had been cold for 3 years now. She stopped feeling it after the first few months, but sometimes, when she woke up in the dark sleeping quarters, her hand would reach up and touch it. The collar reminded her that she was not free. It reminded her that she was property of the Rex Empire. Hannah walked down the narrow corridor toward the processing facility. Her boots made soft sounds on the metal floor. Around her, other humans moved in silence. They all wore the same gray uniforms. They all had the same tired eyes. Nobody talked much anymore. Talking took energy, and energy was something they needed for work. "Morning," Una Park whispered as she fell into step beside Hannah. Una was thin, like everyone else, but she still smiled sometimes. Hannah appreciated that about her friend. Una had not given up completely. "Morning," Hannah replied. She glanced at the Rex guard standing at the intersection ahead. The alien was tall, maybe 7 feet, with scales that shimmered green under the harsh lights. His eyes were yellow and cold. He watched the humans pass without any emotion on his face. To him, they were just animals that could work. The processing facility was loud. Machines hummed and clanked. Sparks flew from welding stations. The air smelled like hot metal and chemicals. Hannah went to her station and began her work. She was assigned to repair the mining equipment that broke down. The Rex did not know that Hannah had been an engineer before they captured her. They did not care. They just saw that she was good with machines. Commander Throck walked through the facility an hour later. He was the head of this mining colony. His scales were darker than the other Rex, almost black, and he wore armor decorated with symbols that showed his rank. Humans scattered out of his way. Throck enjoyed making them afraid. "You there," Throck said in his rough voice, pointing at Hannah. "The equipment in Bay 7 needs work. Go fix it." Hannah nodded and picked up her toolkit. She kept her eyes down. Never look them in the eye. That was the first rule of survival here. She walked toward Bay 7, her heart beating a little faster. Bay 7 was in the restricted section. Humans rarely went there. The bay doors opened with a hiss. Hannah stepped inside and stopped breathing for a moment. There, in the center of the massive bay, sat a human warship. It was big, maybe 200 meters long, with armor plating that was scarred and burned. The name on the side was partly destroyed, but Hannah could still read it. Defiant. She had heard rumors about this ship. The Rex had captured it 2 years ago during a raid. They brought it here to study it, to learn human military secrets. But looking at it now, Hannah realized something important. The ship was still mostly intact. The Rex had been careful with it. "Stop staring and work," a Rex technician snapped at her. He pointed to a control panel near the wall. "That panel keeps failing. Fix it." Hannah walked to the panel, but her eyes kept drifting to the ship. As she worked, she noticed something. The Rex technicians around the ship looked confused. They were poking at the hull, running scans, arguing with each other in their clicking language. They did not understand the technology. They did not know how it worked. A dangerous thought formed in Hannah's mind. What if the ship could still fly? What if someone who understood human technology could make it work? She finished the panel repair quickly and left Bay 7. Her hands were shaking. She could not stop thinking about the Defiant. That night in the sleeping quarters, she whispered to Una, "I saw a human ship today. A warship." Una's eyes went wide. "Where?" "Bay 7. The Rex have it, but they do not understand it." "Una, I think it might still work. What are you saying?" Una asked, her voice worried. Hannah looked around to make sure no one was listening. "I am saying maybe we do not have to stay here forever." Over the next 3 weeks, Hannah volunteered for every repair job near Bay 7. The Rex were happy to let her work. She was good at fixing things, and they were lazy. Each time she entered the bay, she learned more about the Defiant. She studied its systems. She memorized the layout. She figured out which systems were damaged and which ones were just powered down. She also started talking to other humans. Quietly, carefully. There was Jin Lee, who used to be a pilot before the Rex captured his transport ship. There was Dae Choi, who knew weapons systems. Sora Han had been a medic in the Terran Navy. Tae Woo understood communications. Hainam had been security on a merchant vessel. "You are crazy," Jin said when Hannah told him her plan. They were in the recycling room, one of the few places without cameras. "Even if we get to the ship, we would never make it out. They have guards everywhere." "They have guards," Hannah agreed. "But they are lazy. They think we are broken. They think we have given up. Have we not?" They asked quietly. Hannah looked at each of them. "I have not." "Have you?" Nobody answered, but she saw something change in their eyes. A small spark. Hope was dangerous, but it was also powerful. They spent 2 more weeks planning. Tay discovered that the guard shifts changed at 06:00 hours every morning. During the change, there was a 10-minute gap in surveillance. Sora found medical supplies they could steal. I learned the patrol routes. Jin studied the base security systems. Hana kept working on the Defiant. She ran tests when no one was watching. She activated small systems and then shut them down quickly. The ship was alive. It was waiting. It wanted to fly again. "The main power core is functional," she whispered to her group one night. "The engines need a full startup sequence, which takes 5 minutes. The shields work. The weapons are locked, but I can unlock them from the bridge." "What about fuel?" Jin asked. 3/4 full. The Rex kept it fueled for their tests. "When?" Yuna asked. Hannah took a deep breath. "Tomorrow morning." During shift change, the room went silent. Tomorrow felt too soon and too far away at the same time. That night, Hana could not sleep. She lay on her bunk and stared at the ceiling. 3 years she had been here. 3 years of being treated like an animal. 3 years of watching her people suffer and die. Tomorrow they would either escape or die trying. Either way, she would not be a slave anymore. She touched the collar around her neck one last time. By tomorrow night, she thought, this collar would be gone. She would be free, or she would be dead. Both options were better than this. Across the room, Yuna was awake too. Their eyes met in the darkness. Yuna nodded once. She was ready. In Bay 7, the Defiant waited in silence. Its systems were cold and dark. But deep inside its computer core, something stirred. The ship's artificial intelligence, dormant for 2 years, detected unusual activity in its systems. Someone was running tests. Someone who knew what they were doing. The AI ran a quick analysis. Human biosignatures detected. Authorization codes being entered correctly. The AI processed this information and came to a conclusion. Its crew was back. Or at least, humans were trying to wake it up. The AI decided to wait and watch. If these humans were serious about taking the ship, it would help them. The Defiant had been designed to protect humans. It would do its job. Morning came quickly. The alarm started screaming at exactly 06:00 hours. Tay had done his job perfectly. The entire mining colony's reactor system showed critical warnings on every screen. Red lights flashed throughout the facility. Rex guards rushed toward the reactor room, shouting orders at each other. Hana ran in the opposite direction. Behind her, Jin, Dae, Sora, Yuna, Tay, and Hai followed. They wore their normal work uniforms, but each one carried tools that could be used as weapons. Their hearts pounded as they sprinted through corridors they had memorized over weeks of planning. Left here, Jin gasped as they reached an intersection. A Rex guard appeared ahead of them, confused by seeing humans running freely. Before he could reach for his weapon, Hai hit him with a metal pipe. The guard went down hard. They kept running. Bay 7's doors were sealed. Hannah pulled out a datapad she had stolen 3 days ago. Her fingers flew over the controls. She had practiced this 100 times in her mind. The doors hissed and began to open. "Stop them!" Averek's voice shouted from behind. Plasma bolts sizzled through the air. One hit the wall next to Day's head, leaving a burning hole. "Go, go, go!" Hannah yelled. They rushed through the opening doors into Bay 7. Day turned and fired back with a stolen Vrex pistol. His shots were wild, but they made the guards take cover. The Defiant sat in the center of the bay like a sleeping giant. Hannah ran toward it, her lungs burning. The ship's access ramp was down. The Vrex had left it that way for their technicians. She reached the ramp and pounded the entry panel. Nothing happened. "Come on," she whispered desperately. Behind her, more Vrex guards were entering the bay. There had to be 20 of them now. Day and Hai were firing at them, but they were running out of shots. Hannah closed her eyes and tried to remember. What was the emergency override code? She had seen it in the ship's manual during one of her repairs. Her fingers moved on the panel. 6 digits. Then she pressed enter. The panel turned green. The door opened. Inside, she screamed. They all rushed up the ramp. Sora was last, and a plasma bolt grazed her arm. She cried out but kept moving. The moment she was inside, Hannah hit the door control. The ramp began to close. A Vrex guard tried to follow them inside. Hai kicked him in the chest, sending him tumbling back down the ramp. The door sealed shut with a solid clang. They were inside the Defiant. "Sora, are you okay?" Yuna asked, checking their medic's wound. "I will live," Sora said through gritted teeth. "Go, get this ship moving." Hannah was already running toward the bridge. The corridors inside the ship were dark and cold. Emergency lights flickered on as they passed, responding to their presence. Hannah reached the bridge and jumped into the captain's chair. The controls looked strange after so long, but her hands remembered. "Jin, get to the pilot station. Day, weapons. Tay, communications. Everyone else, strap in." They scattered to different stations. The bridge came alive around them. Screens lit up. Systems hummed with power. "Power core activating," Hannah announced, her fingers moving fast over the controls. "This will take 5 minutes." "We do not have 5 minutes," Jin said, looking at the security feeds. Outside the ship, Vrex soldiers were setting up heavy weapons. "They are going to blow holes in us." "Shields," Hannah said. "Day, can you get the shields up?" "I am trying," Day replied, studying his console. "There, got it." Shields at 40% power. The ship shook as plasma cannons hit them. The shields held, but the power indicators dropped. 3 minutes until engines are ready, Hannah said. "Come on," she thought. "Come on." A calm female voice suddenly spoke from the speakers. "Captain, this is Arya, the ship's artificial intelligence. I have completed the startup sequence. All systems are now online." Everyone on the bridge froze for a second. "You still work?" Hannah asked. "Yes, Captain. The Vrex did not know how to access my core systems. I have been waiting. Would you like me to assist with departure?" "Yes. Can you speed up the engine startup?" "Already done. Engines ready in 30 seconds. Outside, Commander Throck arrived in the bay. His face twisted with rage when he saw the humans inside his prize. He screamed orders. The Vrex soldiers opened fire with everything they had. The Defiant's shields flickered and dropped to 20%. "Engines ready," Arya announced. "Jin, get us out of here," Hannah ordered. Jin's hands moved over the pilot controls. The Defiant's engines roared to life. The ship lifted off the bay floor. Throck dove out of the way as the massive warship rose above him. Jin rotated the ship toward the bay doors. "Those doors are sealed," Yuna said. "Not for long," they replied. He'd been studying the weapons console. Firing railgun. The railgun was a human weapon that fired metal slugs at incredible speed. When they pressed the trigger, a thundercrack filled the air. The bay doors exploded outward into space. Atmosphere rushed out, taking Rex soldiers with it. The Defiant shot through the opening like a bullet. Alarms shrieked as they entered open space. Warning lights showed damage to the shields. The mining colony's defense platforms were coming online, tracking them with weapons. "Incoming missiles," Arya reported calmly. "Evasive." Hannah ordered. Jin sent the ship into a spinning dive. The missiles followed but could not match the Defiant's speed. They exploded behind the ship, close enough to shake the hull. "More ships launching from the colony," Tay said, monitoring communications. 3 Rex cruisers. "They are coming after us." Hannah looked at the navigation display. They needed to jump to faster-than-light travel, but the FTL drive needed time to charge. Time they did not have. "Arya, how long until we can jump?" 2 minutes, Captain." "Jin, keep us alive for 2 minutes." "I will try." The next 2 minutes felt like hours. Jin flew the Defiant through a storm of weapons fire. The ship twisted and turned, its engines screaming. Day fired back at the pursuing cruisers, his railgun shots punching through their shields. One cruiser took a direct hit and fell back, trailing atmosphere. 30 seconds to jump, Arya said. A plasma bolt hit their starboard side. Sparks exploded from a panel on the bridge. Sora put out the small fire with an extinguisher. 10 seconds. The 2 remaining Vrex cruisers were gaining. Their weapons charged for a final attack. "Jump ready, Captain." "Jump!" "Now!" Hana shouted. Reality twisted. Space folded around them. The Defiant vanished from the Vrex sensors, leaving the pursuing cruisers firing at empty space. They were gone. Inside the bridge, nobody moved for a long moment. Then Yuna started laughing. It was a slightly crazy sound, but soon everyone joined in. They had done it. They had actually done it. Hannah reached up and pulled the collar off her neck. She had found a release code in the ship's database. The metal fell to the floor with a clang. One by one, the others removed their collars too. "Where are we going?" Jin asked. Hana looked at the star map. They were free, but they had nowhere to go. Earth was months away at best. The Vrex Empire was everywhere. They were 7 people in 1 damaged warship against an empire of millions. "I do not know yet," she admitted. "But we are free. That is what matters." "Captain," Arya said, "I should inform you that this ship contains several experimental weapon systems. The Vrex never discovered them. If you are planning to fight, we are well equipped." A slow smile spread across Hannah's face. The Vrex had enslaved her people. They had treated humans like animals. But they had made a mistake. They had let her get her hands on a warship. "Arya, show me what we have." The war was just beginning. The Defiant drifted through the Kelna Nebula like a ghost. The colorful gas clouds hid them from Vrex sensors. Inside the ship, the crew tried to figure out what to do next. Hana stood in the cargo bay, looking at their supplies. They had food for maybe 2 months. Water for 3 if they were careful. Medicine was low. Everything else was whatever they could find on the ship. "Not exactly well prepared," Jin said, walking up behind her. "We did not have much time to pack," Hana replied with a tired smile. Jin nodded. He looked different without the collar. They all did. Standing straighter. Moving with more energy. But fear still lived in their eyes. 3 years of slavery did not go away in one day. "Do you really think we can fight them?" Jin asked quietly. "There are 7 of us." The Vrex Empire has thousands of ships. I know, Hana said. But if we just run, they will catch us eventually. If we fight, maybe we can make them think twice about chasing us. On the bridge, Arya was showing Day the weapon systems. The ship's SI appeared on screens as a blue sphere of light. She seemed almost happy to have humans aboard again. The Defiant was built for special operations, Arya explained. You have standard railguns and plasma cannons. But you also have quantum torpedoes. They create a chain reaction that can destroy ships much larger than yours. How many do we have? They asked. 24 torpedoes. Use them wisely. They whistled softly. What else? An EMP cannon. Electromagnetic pulse. It shuts down enemy electronics. Very effective against wreck ships because their systems are not shielded against it. And stealth technology. When activated, enemy sensors cannot detect you. The Vrex could not figure any of this out. Tay asked from the communication station. Their technology is inferior, Arya said simply. They rely on brute force, not innovation. That is why they need to steal from others. Hannah entered the bridge and heard the last part of the conversation. Arya, can you teach us how to use these weapons properly? Yes, Captain. I can run training simulations. It will take time, but you will learn. We have time, Hannah said. They do not know where we are. She was wrong about that. In the Vrex High Command Center, Commander Throck stood before the Supreme Council. His scales were pale with fear. Losing the human ship was the worst failure of his career. How could you let slaves steal a warship? The Supreme Commander demanded. His voice echoed through the chamber. They were clever, Throck said. They used the reactor alarm as a distraction. They had had help from inside. They knew the ship. The humans are supposed to be stupid, weak. You told us they were broken. I was wrong, Supreme Commander. Yes, you were. Now they have one of our most valuable prizes. They have seen our weaknesses. This cannot stand. The Supreme Commander activated a star map. Red dots appeared across it, showing Vrex patrol ships. I am assigning you 12 warships. Find them. Destroy them. Bring me proof that humans know their place. Throck bowed low. Yes, Supreme Commander. He left the chamber with anger burning in his chest. The humans had embarrassed him. They had made him look weak in front of the council. He would find them. And when he did, their deaths would be slow. On the Defiant, days passed in training. Arya ran simulation after simulation. Jin learned to fly the ship through impossible maneuvers. Day became deadly accurate with the weapons. Tay mastered the communication systems and learned how to hack VrexNetworks.so RA set up a proper medical bay. Hai and Yuna learned how to maintain the ship's systems. Hannah studied everything, trying to become the captain they needed. You are doing well, Arya told her one night. Hannah was alone on the bridge, studying tactical reports. I am making it up as I go, Hannah admitted. That is what all good captains do. The best leaders are the ones who adapt. Arya, can I ask you something? Why are you helping us so much? You are just an eye. Just an eye? Arya sounded almost amused. I was created to serve and protect human crews. That is my purpose. But more than that, I like humans. You are creative, unpredictable. You never give up. The Vrex are boring by comparison. Hannah smiled. Thank you. For everything, you are welcome, Captain. 2 weeks after their escape, Tay intercepted a Vrex communication. Captain, you need to hear this. Hannah listened to the message. Her face went dark. They are hunting us with 12 ships. Throck is leading them. 12 against 1, Jin said. Those are bad odds. Then we need to change the odds, Hannah replied. She pulled up a star map. Arya, Are there any Rex targets near here? Something important? There is a supply depot at Coram Station. It is 3 days from here. The depot supplies Rex forces across this entire sector. How well defended? 4 cruisers. Defense platforms. Standard garrison. Day shook his head. That is still too much for us. Not if we use stealth, Hana said. Her eyes were bright with a dangerous idea. We sneak in. Use the EMP cannon on their ships. Hit them before they know we are there. And then what? Yuna asked. Then we destroy the depot. We hurt them. We show them that hunting us is not worth the cost. The crew looked at each other. They were scared, but they were also angry. The Rex had taken 3 years of their lives. Maybe it was time to take something back. I am in, Jin said. One by one, the others agreed. 3 days later, the Defiant approached Coram Station in stealth mode. On the view screen, the station looked like a small moon. It was covered in docking bays and warehouses. Rex ships moved in and out constantly. 4 cruisers as expected, Tay reported. Multiple defense platforms. I am reading life signs. Thousands of Rex on the station. Any humans? Hannah asked. Tay checked his sensors. Yes, maybe 300 signatures. Looks like they are in the lower decks. Prisoner holding area. Hannah's jaw tightened. More slaves. More people suffering like they had suffered. New plan, she said. We free those people too. That makes this much harder, they pointed out. I know. We do it anyway. Jin flew the Defiant closer to the station. The stealth system worked perfectly. The Rex sensors showed nothing. They were invisible, bringing us in above the station, Jin said. Getting into position. They target the cruisers with the EMP cannon, Hana ordered. Hit them all at once if you can. I will try. The Defiant rotated slowly, its EMP cannon charging. On Day's screen, targeting solutions appeared for all 4 cruisers. Locked on, he said. Firing. A wave of electromagnetic energy burst from the Defiant. It was invisible to the eye, but deadly to electronics. The wave hit all 4 Rex cruisers at the same time. Their lights went out. Their engines died. They started to drift, powerless. Direct hit. All cruisers disabled. They shouted, drop stealth. Target the defense platforms. Use quantum torpedoes. The Defiant appeared on Rex sensors like a nightmare. Before they could react, quantum torpedoes streaked from the ship. They hit the defense platforms and exploded with blue-white fire. The explosions spread from platform to platform in a chain reaction. Within seconds, the station's defenses were gone. Alarm screamed on Coram Station. Rex soldiers ran in confusion. They had no idea what was happening. Hi, Sora, Yuna. Get to the shuttle bay, Hana ordered. Take a shuttle down to the station. Find those prisoners and get them out. What about you? Yuna asked. We will keep the Rex busy up here. The 3 women ran to the shuttle bay. Minutes later, a small shuttle launched from the Defiant and headed for the station. Jin, bring us closer to the station. Make us impossible to ignore. Jin grinned. With pleasure. The Defiant dove toward the station, its railguns firing. The shots punched through warehouses and fuel tanks. Explosions bloomed across the station's surface. Rex ships tried to launch, but they targeted them before they could escape. His aim was perfect. Every shot was a kill. On the station, Hai led the way through corridors. They had stolen Rex armor and weapons. Sora carried medical supplies. Yuna had a datapad showing the way to the prisoner area. They encountered Rex guards and fought their way through. 3 years of anger made them fierce. They reached the prisoner holding area and blasted the door open. Inside, Hundreds of humans stared at them in shock. They looked sick and thin. Their eyes were hollow. "We are here to rescue you," I said. "Follow us if you want to live." For a moment, nobody moved. Then an older woman stood up. "You are really human? Not Rex tricks?" "Really human. Now move." The prisoners started following them. There were so many. Too many for one shuttle. "We need more shuttles," Sora said into her radio. "Already on it," Hana's voice replied. "I am sending the Defiant's other shuttles down. Load everyone you can." Above the station, the Defiant continued its attack. Fuel depots exploded in massive fireballs. The station was dying, piece by piece. Then Tay's console screamed a warning. "Captain, multiple ships dropping out of FTL. It is Throk's fleet." Hana's blood went cold. They had found her. The Defiant drifted through the Kellner Nebula like a ghost. The colorful gas clouds hid them from Rex sensors. Inside the ship, the crew tried to figure out what to do next. Hana stood in the cargo bay, looking at their supplies. They had food for maybe 2 months. Water for 3 if they were careful. Medicine was low. Everything else was whatever they could find on the ship. "Not exactly well prepared," Jin said, walking up behind her. "We did not have much time to pack," Hana replied with a tired smile. Jin nodded. He looked different without the collar. They all did. Standing straighter. Moving with more energy. But fear still lived in their eyes. 12 Rex warships appeared in space around Coram Station. They were massive, 3 times the size of the Defiant. Their weapons were already charging. At their head was Throk's flagship, the Dominion. "So, the little humans thought they could hide," Throk said from his command chair. He watched the Defiant on his screens with hungry eyes. "Surround them. Do not let them escape this time." On the Defiant's bridge, Hana made a fast decision. "Tay, tell our people on the station to hurry. Jin, plot an escape course. We need to buy them time." "Captain, we cannot fight 12 ships," Jin said. "I know, but we can annoy them." She opened a channel to Throk's ship. His face appeared on the screen. His yellow eyes blazed with anger. "Hello, Commander," Hana said calmly. "Remember me?" "You have nowhere to run, slave," Throk hissed. "Surrender now, and I will make your death quick. I am not your slave anymore. None of us are. You are still property of the Rex Empire. You will always be property." Hana smiled coldly. "You can try to catch us, but you might want to check on your station first." Throk looked at another screen. His face went pale. Coram Station was burning. Half of it was destroyed. The other half was venting atmosphere. His soldiers were dying down there. "You will pay for this," he snarled. "Get in line." Hana cut the transmission. "Day, fire everything we have at his flagship. Let us see how tough it really is." The Defiant's weapons opened up. Railgun rounds slammed into the Dominion's shields. Quantum torpedoes followed, exploding in brilliant flashes. The flagship rocked under the assault, but its shields held. "Their shields are strong," they reported. "Too strong. Keep firing. Make them focus on us, not the station." The Rex fleet began to move. They spread out, trying to surround the Defiant. Their own weapons fired, and the Defiant's shields dropped quickly under the barrage. "Shields at 50%, Arya announced. 40%, 30. On the station, Hai was loading the last prisoners onto shuttles. There were so many people. Men, women, even a few children. All of them had the same hollow eyes. All of them had been broken by the Rex. "That is everyone," Yuna said. "Let us go." They ran for their shuttle. Behind them, part of the station exploded. The blast wave threw them forward. Hai hit the ground hard but kept moving. They reached the shuttle and sealed the door. "All shuttles away," Sora reported to the Defiant. "Copy that," Hana replied. "Get clear of the station. We are about to make things messy." The Defiant's shields were almost gone. Rex weapons were hitting the hull now, tearing through armor. Sparks flew across the bridge. A console exploded, throwing Jin from his seat. He got back up, blood running down his face. "We need to leave," he shouted. "Not yet," Hana said. She was watching the tactical display. Throk's flagship was close now. Very close. "Arya, is the EMP cannon charged?" "Yes, Captain. But at this range, it will hit us too." "I know." "Do it anyway. Fire." The MP burst from the Defiant at point-blank range. The electromagnetic wave hit the Dominion like a hammer. Every system on the flagship died instantly. Lights went out. Engines stopped. Weapons powered down. The massive ship became a dead hulk, drifting in space. But the EMP also hit the Defiant. Half of their systems shut down. The bridge went dark, except for emergency lights. The ship stopped moving. That was insane. Jin yelled. "It worked, did it not?" Hana replied. Her hands flew over the controls, trying to restart systems. "Arya, talk to me." "Systems rebooting," Arya said. Her voice was glitchy. "Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds felt like forever. The other wrecked ships were closing in, their weapons charged for the kill. 10 seconds, Arya said. A Rex cruiser launched missiles. Dozens of them, streaking toward the defenseless Defiant. 5 seconds. The missiles were almost on them. Hana could see them on the sensors. "Systems online," Arya announced. The bridge lit up again. "Jin, move us!" Now, Jin's hands grabbed the controls. The Defiant's engines roared back to life. The ship twisted away just as the missiles arrived. Most of them missed. 3 hit the stern, tearing through armor and causing internal explosions. "Hull breach on deck 3, Arya reported. "Emergency bulkhead sealing. Get us out of here." Hana ordered. Jin flew the Defiant away from the Rex fleet. The ship was badly damaged, but still moving. Behind them, the shuttles full of freed prisoners followed. "FTL drive is damaged," Tay said. "We cannot jump." Hana cursed. Without FTL, they could not escape. The Rex would catch them. Then a new voice came over the communications channel. An old woman's voice, strong despite age. "Defiant, this is Admiral Narayan. I am on Shuttle 3. Let me onto your ship." Hana blinked in surprise. "Admiral? You were a prisoner?" "For 80 months. But I still remember how to fight. Let me on your ship, Captain. I can help." Hana made a decision. "Arya, open the shuttle bay for Shuttle 3. Minutes later, an old woman walked onto the Defiant's bridge. She was thin and her hair was white, but her eyes were sharp. She wore the stolen Rex armor like she owned it. "I am Narayan," she said. "Former Admiral of the Terran Navy. And you are?" "Anakim. I guess I am the captain." "You guess?" Nari raised an eyebrow. "You just destroyed a Rex supply depot and crippled their flagship. I would say you are definitely the captain." Despite everything, Hana smiled. "Nice to meet you, Admiral." "Good to meet you too. Now, let me look at that FTL drive." Nari went to the engineering console and studied it. Her fingers moved over the controls like she had been doing this her whole life. "The drive is not broken. It is just overloaded. Give me 2 minutes." While Nari worked, the Rex fleet regrouped. 11 ships were still operational. They began to pursue the Defiant again. Throk's flagship was still dead in space, but his voice came over the radio, transmitted from another ship. "You cannot run forever," he said. I will chase you across the galaxy." "Then you better start chasing," Hana replied. "Admiral, please tell me you have good news." "FTL drive is back online," Nari said. "Jump when ready. Jin, get us out of here. Take the shuttles with us. Where are we going?" Hana looked at the star map. There was a region of space marked in red, uncharted, dangerous, perfect for hiding. "There, that empty sector. We can hide and plan our next move." The Defiant and the shuttles vanished into FTL space. Behind them, Coram Station continued to burn. The Vrex fleet could only watch as their prey escaped again. On the Dominion, Throx stood in the emergency-lit bridge. His flagship was dead. His station was destroyed. And the humans had escaped with 300 prisoners. He had underestimated them. They were not weak. They were not stupid. They were dangerous. Very dangerous. "Get this ship moving again," he ordered his crew. "I do not care how long it takes. We will find them." But in his heart, Throck felt something he had never felt before. He felt afraid. The humans had shown him something terrible. They could fight back. They could win. And if one ship could do this much damage, what would happen if more humans came? On the Defiant, Hana gathered all 300 freed prisoners in the cargo bay. It was crowded, but nobody complained. They were free. That was all that mattered. "I know you have been through hell," Hana said, her voice carrying through the bay. "I know you are scared. I know you do not know what happens next. But I promise you this. We will not let the Vrex take us again. We will fight. We will survive. And one day, we will go home." The prisoners stared at her. Then, one person started clapping. Then another. Soon the entire cargo bay was filled with applause. Some people were crying. Some were smiling for the first time in years. Admiral Nari stood next to Hana. "Good speech, Captain." "Thank you." "Admiral, what do we do now?" "We have 300 people, limited supplies, and one damaged ship." Nari smiled. "Now we start a rebellion. The Vrex think humans are weak. We are going to prove them wrong. But first, there is something you need to know." "What?" "When I was captured, I was part of a deep space mission. We were investigating Vrex territory. There are other humans out here, prisoners, maybe even military units that got separated from Earth. If we can find them, we can build a real resistance." Hana felt hope bloom in her chest. They were not alone. There were more humans to save, more people to fight with. "Then that is what we do," she said. "We find them. We free them. We build an army." Nari nodded. "Welcome to war, Captain." In the empty sector of space, the Defiant and its shuttles found a hidden asteroid field. They landed inside a massive hollow asteroid and began repairs. 300 freed prisoners became crew members. They learned to maintain the ship. They learned to fight, and across Vrex space, word began to spread. There was a human warship out there. A ghost ship that struck without warning. It freed slaves. It destroyed Vrex installations. It could not be stopped. The humans called it the Defiant. The Vrex had another name for it. They called it their nightmare. 3 months passed like a dream. The hollow asteroid became New Haven, a secret base hidden in the darkness of space. The Defiant sat in the center, surrounded by smaller ships they had captured or stolen from the Vrex. Hana walked through the corridors of their base, watching people work. They were building homes from salvaged metal, growing food in small gardens. Children played in areas that used to be empty storage rooms. 300 people had become a community, but they were also an army dot in the training area. Jin taught new pilots how to fly. They trained weapons crews. Sora ran medical drills. Every person who could fight was learning how. Even the children practiced basic defense. "We are ready," Admiral Nari said, joining Hannah. The old woman looked healthier now. Good food and freedom had brought color back to her face. My contacts across Vrex space have confirmed it. There are resistance cells on 15 worlds, all waiting for a signal to rise up. And the prism? Hannah asked. Still there, in orbit around the Vrex homeworld. 2,000 humans inside, scientists, military officers, politicians, everyone important that the Vrex captured. Hannah looked at the star map on her datapad. The Vrex homeworld was the most defended place in their empire. Going there was suicide. I know what you are thinking, Nari said. It is impossible. But so was stealing the Defiant. So was destroying Coram Station. You have a talent for doing impossible things. This is different. The homeworld will have hundreds of ships. Yes, but we will not be alone. Nari activated a hologram. It showed a fleet of small ships, stolen shuttles, modified cargo vessels, even a few captured Rex fighters. We have gathered 50 ships. Not much compared to the Vrex military, but enough to make noise. A distraction, Hannah realized. Exactly. The resistance cells attack targets across Vrex space at the same time. The Vrex fleet has to split up to respond. That gives us a window to hit the prison. How long of a window? Maybe 30 minutes. After that, they will realize it is a trap and come back. 30 minutes to break into an orbital prison, free 2,000 people, and escape. Hannah laughed. It was insane. But everything they had done was insane. When do we start? Tomorrow. Are you ready, Captain? Hannah thought about her crew, her people. They had all suffered so much, but they had also become stronger. They were not victims anymore. They were warriors. Yes, she said. Let us end this. The next day, 50 ships gathered in empty space. They came from hiding spots across the sector. Each one carried people who had been slaves. Each one carried rage and hope in equal measure. Hannah stood on the Defiance Bridge. Her crew was at their stations. Admiral Nari commanded a captured Vrex cruiser. Jin would fly them through hell if needed. They had enough ammunition to fight a small war. Everyone was ready. Arya, are all ships connected to our network? Hannah asked. Yes, Captain. I can coordinate the entire fleet. Good. Open a channel to everyone. Hannah's face appeared on screens across the fleet. Hundreds of people looked at her. Some she knew. Most she did not. But they all had the same look in their eyes. They were done being afraid. 3 years ago, the Vrex made a mistake, Hannah said. They thought humans were weak. They thought we would break. They thought we would accept slavery forever. Today, we show them how wrong they were. Today, we strike at their heart. We free our people. We send a message that will echo across the galaxy. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not forget. And humanity never, ever gives up. Are you with me? A roar of voices answered her. Every ship, every person, shouting their answer. Yes, they were with her. Then let us go to war. The fleet split into 2 groups. 40 ships spread across Vrex space, heading for targets. Communication stations, fuel depots, military bases. They would hit everything at once. The Defiant led the remaining 10 ships toward the Vrex homeworld. It would take them 4 hours to get there. 4 hours to prepare for the biggest fight of their lives. On the Vrex homeworld, Supreme Commander Kroth sat in his palace. He was old for a Vrex, his scales faded to gray. He had ruled the Empire for 30 years. He had never faced a real threat in all that time. That changed when his aide rushed into his chamber. Supreme Commander, we are under attack. 15 targets across the Empire. What? By who? The humans, sir, The resistance. Krath's eyes widened. Impossible. Humans do not have the numbers for a coordinated attack. They are doing it anyway, sir. They are destroying our facilities. Send the fleet. Crush them immediately. The Vrex military responded fast. Warships jumped to FTL, racing to defend the attacked bases. Within minutes, 3/4 of the homeworld's defense fleet was gone. That was when the Defiant appeared. 10 ships dropped out of FTL, near the Vrex homeworld. They stayed hidden in the shadow of a moon, watching the orbital prison. It was a massive structure, ugly and functional. Defense platforms surrounded it. 20 warships guarded it. 20 ships, Jin said. This is going to be tough. We do not need to destroy them all, Hana said. We just need to get inside that prison. Arya, can you hack their defense network? Already working on it, Captain. Give me 2 minutes. While Arya worked, Hana studied the prison. It had one main docking bay. That was where they needed to go. But the Vrex ships were positioned to block any approach. We need a bigger distraction, they said. Hana had an idea. Admiral Nari, how fast can your ships move? Fast enough. What are you thinking? I am thinking you and 6 ships attack from the north. Make them think that is the real assault. The Defiant and 3 ships will sneak in from the south while they are distracted. Classic feint maneuver. I like it. We will get their attention, Captain. Thank you, Admiral. Try not to get killed. You too. Nari's ships moved into position. Then they attacked. 7 ships against 20 sounded like suicide. But Nari was not trying to win. She was trying to be annoying. Her ships darted in and out, firing and running. They targeted the defense platforms, destroying 2 before the Vrex could respond. The Vrex warships turned to face this threat, their weapons charging. Now, Hana ordered. The Defiant and 3 smaller ships shot forward from the other direction. Arya had given them a path through the defenses. They raced toward the prison's docking bay. A Vrex cruiser spotted them. Enemy ships. South side. But it was too late. The Defiant was already at the prison. Hana did not wait for permission. She gave the order, and they fired the railgun. The docking bay doors exploded inward. The Defiant crashed through the opening, followed by the other ships. They landed hard inside the bay. Vrex guards were everywhere, scrambling to respond. But the Defiant's crew was faster. They poured out of the ship, weapons firing. Hai led a team toward the cell blocks. Sora followed with medical gear. Yuna stayed with the ship to prepare for evacuation. We have maybe 20 minutes before they overwhelm us, Hana said into her radio. Find those prisoners and get them out. The battle inside the prison was chaos. Hana fought through corridors, her stolen Vrex rifle in her hands. She had learned to be a good shot over the past 3 months. Each guard she met went down. They reached the first cell block. Hundreds of humans were locked inside, staring in disbelief. We are getting you out, Hana shouted. Move, move, move. The prisoners ran. Some could barely walk. Others had to be carried. But they moved toward the docking bay as fast as they could. Outside the prison, the battle was getting worse. Admiral Nari's ships were taking heavy damage. One exploded, its crew dying in fire. Another lost engines and started to drift. Hana, we cannot hold much longer. Nari called over the radio. 5 more minutes, please. On the Vrex homeworld, Supreme Commander Krath watched reports coming in. The attacks across his empire were just distractions. The real target was the prison. They are freeing our hostages, his aide said. If they succeed, we lose our bargaining power with Earth. Send every ship we have, Krath ordered. Kill them all. I do not care how many humans die. They need to learn their place. More Vrex warships appeared around the prison. 50 ships. Then 100. The sky was full of them. Hannah saw it happening. They were out of time. Everyone to the ships, now. The freed prisoners crowded into the 4 ships. There were too many. They packed in, standing room only. Some had to hold on to support beams. Children sat on laps. Everyone found space somehow. "We are full," Yuna reported. "No more room." "Then we leave." "Jin, get us out of here." The 4 ships lifted off from the docking bay. They shot out into space, right into the middle of 100 Rex warships. Weapons fired from every direction. One of the small ships took a direct hit and exploded. Its passengers died instantly. Hannah felt sick. But there was no time to grieve. "Arya, activate everything we have. All weapons. Full power to shields." The Defiant became a storm of destruction. Railguns fired non-stop. Quantum torpedoes launched in waves. The EMP cannon pulsed again and again. Wreck ships died around them, but more kept coming. "We are not going to make it," Jin said. His hands gripped the controls, flying the ship through an impossible maze of weapons fire. Then something appeared on the sensors. New ships dropping out of FTL. Big ships. Human ships. Hannah stared at the screen in disbelief. There were dozens of them. Cruisers, destroyers, battleships, a whole fleet. And at the center, a massive dreadnought with a name painted on its side. Thunder of Earth. A transmission came through. A man's face appeared on the screen. He